Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? After 60, these moments of forgetfulness can feel scary, like your memory is slipping away. But what if it's not decline, just a signal your brain needs new habits to stay sharp? In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful brain-boosting activities that can help protect your memory and bring clarity back into your life, and one of them takes just minutes a day. What do you do now to keep your mind active? Share your routine or struggles in the comments below. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Or maybe you've opened the fridge, stared at the shelves, and had no clue what you were looking for. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. After 60, moments like these become more common. And while they can be frustrating, or even a little scary, the good news is they're not the end of the road. They're a signal, a gentle nudge from your brain telling you it needs a little more attention, a little more care, and maybe a few new habits to stay sharp. You see, forgetfulness doesn't mean something is wrong. It means your brain, just like your muscles and joints, needs exercise. But here's the best part. Boosting your memory and protecting your brain after 60 isn't complicated. It doesn't require a PhD or fancy supplements. It just takes a few simple brain-loving activities you can do each week. That's what we're here for today. Because you deserve to feel focused. You deserve to walk into a room and remember exactly what you came for. You deserve to hold on to your memories and make new ones with confidence and joy. Let's start with something powerful and surprisingly fun: learning something new. Now, you might be thinking, I'm retired. I've already done my learning. But your brain doesn't retire. In fact, it craves challenge. When you learn a new skill, whether it's a language, a hobby, or even how to use a new app, your brain forms new connections. Think of it like building new roads across your mental landscape. And the more roads you build, the easier it is to get where you're going. Maybe you pick up painting. Maybe you try a puzzle that's a little harder than usual. Maybe you take an online course or join a local class at the community center. The activity doesn't matter as much as the engagement. What matters is that you feel slightly challenged in a way that keeps you curious, keeps you thinking, keeps you growing. Because growth is the opposite of decline, and your brain still wants to grow. Now let's shift to another tool. One you already have, and one that's more powerful than most people realize: your voice. That's right. Simply talking, meaningful, real conversation is a brain-boosting habit. When you speak with someone, you're not just passing the time. You're recalling memories, choosing words, reading emotions, staying mentally present. That's real work for your brain, the kind of work that keeps it sharp. But here's the catch. It needs to be real conversation, not just hi and bye. I'm talking about talking, telling stories, asking questions, laughing, listening, reflecting. If you live alone, don't let that stop you. Call someone, join a senior group, attend a local meetup. Even spending time talking with a grandchild or a neighbor can light up the parts of your brain that matter most. Loneliness shrinks the brain. Connection expands it, and it's never too late to connect. Now I want to talk about something that may surprise you: movement. You might think, wait, I thought this was about memory, not muscles. But here's the secret: they're connected. Exercise is one of the most powerful brain boosters on the planet. When you move your body, you increase blood flow to your brain. You trigger chemicals that support memory, focus, and mood. You even help grow new brain cells. And I'm not talking about running marathons. A 20-minute walk, some gentle yoga, stretching in your living room, dancing to music you love. These small movements send a big message to your brain. Stay awake, stay alive, we're not done yet. And that message changes everything. So if you're worried about memory loss, start by moving more. It's not just good for your heart. It's good for your mind. Now let's breathe for a moment, because we've covered a lot, but you're doing great. You're here, you're listening, and that means you're already taking care of your brain. That matters. That shows commitment. And that's how change begins. So as we continue, just know these aren't just tips. These are tools. Tools that are within your reach to protect your memory, to keep your thoughts clear, to hold on to what matters most. Because life after 60 isn't about what's slipping away. It's about what you're still building. And you are still building. Let's keep going, because your mind is capable of more than you've probably been told. The next activity I want to share is something beautifully simple, but often forgotten in today's world. Reading. Not scrolling, not headlines, not clickbait. Real reading. A book, a magazine, an article that makes you think, reflect, or imagine. When you read, your brain lights up in all the right places. You create mental images, connect ideas, process language, and even exercise memory by keeping track of plots or concepts. It doesn't matter if it's fiction or nonfiction, a mystery or a memoir. What matters is the engagement. Set aside just 15 to 20 minutes a few times a week. Choose something that makes you curious, something that makes you feel. And don't be afraid to read aloud sometimes. That stimulates even more parts of the brain and gives your voice, your breath, your memory a workout too. And if your eyes get tired easily, audiobooks are a wonderful alternative. Listening with focus still exercises the brain, especially if you take a moment afterward to reflect on what you heard. The next activity is one that people overlook far too often, but it can be life-changing: mindfulness. Now, before you tune out thinking it's too abstract or spiritual, let's break it down. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being present. It's the habit of pausing, noticing your breath, noticing your thoughts, and gently bringing your attention back to the moment. And why does this help your brain? Because most forgetfulness doesn't happen because your memory is broken. It happens because you're distracted, rushed, scattered. You misplace your keys because your mind was thinking about something else. You forget someone's name because your attention was only half there when they said it. Mindfulness rewires your brain for focus. It teaches you to slow down, to listen, to notice. And when you notice more, you remember more. You don't need to sit cross-legged or chant a mantra. Just find a quiet space, close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out, and gently watch your thoughts without chasing them. Even 5 minutes a day can create a shift, a calmness, a clarity. And that clarity helps everything else fall into place. Your memory isn't gone, it just needs room to breathe. You've already got the tools: your breath, your awareness, your willingness to show up. Now let's take a moment to put this all together. Each of these activities, learning something new, engaging in real conversation, moving your body, reading with intention, and practicing mindfulness, they don't just help your brain, they give your life color. They remind you that your mind is still alive, still hungry, still capable of adapting, growing, remembering, and creating. And that matters. Because after 60, many people are told to expect decline, to accept forgetfulness, to stop trying. But that's not the truth. The truth is, your brain is listening to how you treat it, to what you feed it, to how you challenge it, rest it, and care for it. You don't have to accept slipping memory as your future. You can shape your future, one activity, one choice, one day at a time. So, as you move through your week, ask yourself, what can I learn today? Who can I talk to today? How can I move my body just a little? What can I read that feeds my mind? Where can I pause and just breathe? These aren't small questions. They're the questions that build a sharper, more present, more joyful version of you. You've lived through decades of change. You've overcome so much. And your brain, your story, still has so much more to offer. So give it what it needs. Challenge it, feed it, honor it. Because the best memories, the ones still to come, depend on what you do right now. And if you're still with me, I want to say something important. You are not losing your mind. You are simply learning how to support it differently at this stage in your life. Just like your body needs new kinds of care after 60, your joints, your muscles, your energy, your brain does too. And what a gift that we get to choose how we care for it. Let's talk briefly about another habit that often gets overlooked, but it plays a major role in brain health. Sleep. Yes, sleep. Not just resting your body, but giving your brain the deep reset it needs to process memories, clear out toxins, and reset your emotions. Think about it. If you've ever had a poor night's sleep and then struggled to focus, remember names, or find the right words, you felt it. Sleep is when the brain does its cleanup work, and when you skip it, the clutter builds. And over time, that clutter becomes confusion, forgetfulness, or even anxiety. So make sleep a priority, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Create a quiet space. Go to bed at the same time each night. Turn off the TV and the bright lights. Let your brain know this is the time to rest, to restore, to recharge. Because a well-rested brain is a stronger brain. And that's what you're building now. Not just a sharper mind, but a more resilient one. Now, let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you truly felt proud of how you showed up for yourself? Not for anyone else, just for you. Because everything we've talked about here, the learning, the movement, the connection, the calm, it's not about fixing something broken. It's about honoring the remarkable life you've already lived and giving yourself the chance to keep showing up, fully. You're not slowing down. You're refining. You're listening more closely to what your mind and body need now, and that's wisdom. That's strength. So as you carry these habits into your week, remember, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do all 5 activities every single day. You just need to keep coming back to yourself, with care, with patience, with commitment. Maybe today you go for that walk. Maybe tomorrow you read a chapter of that book that's been waiting on your shelf. Maybe this weekend you pick up the phone and have a real conversation with someone who fills your spirit. Maybe tonight you breathe, gently, mindfully, just 5 minutes before bed. Each small act is a promise to yourself that your mind still matters, that your joy still matters, that your presence here, now, is worth everything. So keep going, keep practicing, keep honoring your brain, because every time you choose these small intentional actions, you're telling your mind, we're still in this together. And that connection, that relationship with yourself, is the most powerful brain-boosting habit of all. You've made it this far for a reason. There's still more life to remember, more names to hold on to, more stories to tell, and more beauty to experience with full, focused presence. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If any part of this message touched your heart or reminded you of your own strength, I invite you to leave a comment. Tell me what habits you're ready to try. Share a memory, or simply let me know you're here. And if you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more guidance on staying strong, focused, and fulfilled at every age. Here's to a sharp mind, a peaceful heart, and a life full of moments you'll never forget. And before we part ways today, I want to leave you with one final reminder. Your mind is not fading. It's transforming. Just like you've done again and again in every season of life. You've raised families, built careers, faced loss, celebrated love, made decisions, solved problems, helped others. Your brain has carried the weight of an entire lifetime. So if it's asking for a little more care now, that's not failure. That's a quiet request for love. Answer it. With attention, with movement, with learning, with rest, with kindness. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. You are reclaiming what still belongs to you, clarity, peace, and pride in your own mind. Because there is no age where growth stops, No number where the joy of learning ends. No birthday after which presence and awareness don't matter. The truth is, your brain still wants to be challenged. It still wants to be nourished. It still wants to be part of your future. And when you treat it like a friend, it responds. Sharper focus, stronger memory, deeper joy. So whether today you begin with a single mindful breath, a short walk around the block, or a quiet conversation with someone you love, let that be enough. Because it is. You are. There is no rush. There is only the choice to show up, again and again, for yourself. And if you're here, listening, reflecting, maybe even feeling inspired, then you've already made that choice, and I'm proud of you for it. Let this be the beginning of a new kind of relationship with your mind, one rooted in compassion, one grounded in small, steady care, one that reminds you every single day you still have so much life to live, so much to remember, so much still to create. This is not the end. This is you staying sharp, staying strong, staying connected. Because your story is not done, not even close. Here's to remembering what matters most. Here's to the next moment of clarity, the next meaningful conversation, the next laugh, the name you recall with ease, the next step you take with purpose. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of your beautiful mind. And thank you for choosing yourself. We'll talk again soon. Thank you for being here and taking this time to care for your mind. Today, we explored 5 simple but powerful activities to keep your brain sharp after 60. Learning new things, having real conversations, moving your body, reading with intention, and practicing mindfulness. These aren't just habits, they're investments in your clarity, confidence, and independence. And the best part is, it's never too late to start. Your mind is still strong, still capable, still growing. If this video inspired you or reminded you of your own strength, I invite you to leave a comment and share your thoughts or experiences. I'd love to hear what you're doing to support your brain. And if you want more practical, uplifting content to help you thrive at every stage of life, go ahead and subscribe. Your support means the world, and it helps us reach more people who need encouragement and real solutions. Here's to a clear mind, a strong heart, and a life full of unforgettable moments.